Yeah, I just got my master's 1 month ago in information systems management. I haven't like worked on site like before. I just have an internship for 2 months before on Tableau, so I don't have much programming background.
Okay. So, okay, MIS, right? That's
Yeah,
a course.
yeah,
Yeah, I think it's kind of apt for Pega
yeah,
actually.
yeah.
All right, good. Okay, thanks, Abhay.
For sure.
Next, I think there is Scholar One. I'm not sure who's Scholar One.
Um,
I think the name probably needs to be said correctly. Then there is someone with the name Guest. Not sure who it is. All right, and then
My
yeah,
name is
hi.
not there.
Okay, yeah, you can speak up.
Okay. I think maybe caller one is me. I don't know.
Yeah, you're Scholar One. Yeah, tell me.
My name is Aravind Goli.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. And yeah, I have been doing business for almost a quarter century, and I'm a very good business analyst. I understand all the applications thoroughly. So just trying to understand the Pega process implementation so that I can, be a very good Pega analyst. I may be rooting for the Pega business analyst rather than Pega developer kind of role.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, understand that. Okay, all right, sounds good. Thank you. Next, I think is Nitin.
Yeah, um, I have been working since like almost an year, and before I was just like I completed my masters, and I have been working since like last August, Rahul. So in Pega, I have been working since almost 6 months,
Mm-hmm.
and before that, I was basically a business analyst. So
Oh, okay. So you're looking to move to Pega Dev, correct?
yeah, you're right.
All right. Okay. Yeah, thank you, Nitin. So I think you have a fair understanding of the system already, right?
I do. I have an understanding of the system, but not the technical part of Pega. I know what the various things do, but I'm not completely aware of all the concepts in Pega. So
I understand that. Got it. All right. Thank you. Thanks, Nitin. Who's ObjectNet? It's an interesting name.
Maybe that is me. I don't know. Depending on how Ashok named.
Okay, yeah, I think you are caller one. I think.
Abhay and me, we both are from ObjectNet actually.
Okay. All right. Okay. Cool. I think there is Rupali. Hi, Rupali. Can you hear me? Okay, Rupali. When you just if you're able to hear me, probably you can just type in if you're not able to speak up. So you'll have to probably unmute yourself. You're muted still. All right. So I think next is Senthil Kumar. Hey, Senthil, can you hear me?
Yes, Rahul. I'm currently working in Oracle Technologies. I have 12 years of experience in Oracle SQL and PLSQL.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm only in technical side.
Okay. All right. Good. All right. Trilok, is it? Hi, Trilok. Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah, Rahul. Yeah, I'm Trilok. Yeah, I have 3 years of experience in handling Java tool. I really don't have any coding experience, but I have a fair knowledge of OOPS concept.
Okay. Yeah. Should come in handy. Okay. Thank you. All right. I think Ashok, is that all, or are we meeting a couple more people, or is it done? Is everyone
Yeah,
joined?
everyone is there.
All right.
This
Okay. So
guest is Mr. Russell, our old student.
yeah. Hey, Rasul. Hope you're
This
doing
caller
well.
one and objective net is there, right? That and all are same.
Yeah. Call spoke to I think Arvind, right?
Yeah,
I spoke to him.
Someone
I don't know
waiting
who's
for
up.
name, but I don't know who is this. They're not responding.
ObjectNet is who's ObjectNet?
That is Arvind, Mr. Arvind. Caller one is the same.
Things work out. So to kickstart this, I have about 8 years of industry experience in Pega. So worked on a couple of earlier versions of Pega 7, which is the latest version of Pega. And I've been training students for about a year now. Primarily I train on CSA, which is the first level of certification on Pega, and I train on the second level of developer certification, as well as I train on certified business architect as well, which is a different stream altogether. So this session, what I'll primarily do is I'll give you a demo on CSA, because that's what was informed to me. This is the first level of certification that almost all developers and business analysts, all of them essentially tend to do this, because in this course you are expected to just understand the basics, not do a complete deep dive into the technicalities. You will of course do a technical dive, but and in parallel you will also know how to translate a business requirement into a software system which is using Pega. Okay, so we will be ending up creating an end-to-end application, and the end-to-end application will have we will touch upon all the basic concepts that will help you clear off CSA certification. I will share with you some sample questions, the model of the questions that will come across for the certification, so through which you can know what is how the exam would turn out to be. Okay, so that is the intention of this course. Probably I'll just quickly at the end of the session I'll probably quickly run through the sample project that we will be creating at our end, which is primarily a support request application, wherein yeah, I'll speak about that probably at that time, so that I'll show you how it actually runs through. Right? So okay, without much time, then let me just speak to you more about what is a BPM system, so that the intention here is to teach you or to explain to you how I deliver my course content. Okay, so that whether you grasp it or whether you're comfortable about that, that is the objective for about 15 minutes from now. I'll teach you some concept. Just see how flexible you are with it, whether you're able to grasp it or not. All right. Okay. So let me just first, in the answer, let me just share my screen first. Okay. I hope you guys can see my screen. All right. Okay. All right. Cool. So if you're not able to see the screen, just please call out. Okay. So the thing that I want to explain to you here is what is a BPM system, and how this BPM system is trying to influence and make business a lot more easy. So a very simple example that I have here, I'm just on Amazon website, and assuming that I just want to do some very simple modification like updating my address. Okay, so the first thing that comes to your mind about updating an address, very simple in layman's term, when you think about changing such a simple thing, is you can just go ahead and look at one page and then enter the details and save it. That's all, because it would be just one action that you would do. The address would be shown to you, update it, and you're done. That's a normal thought process that any normal person would have. But that's not how it works in the real world. Primarily in really complicated websites, they will have a sequence of steps to get that address itself changed. So it's not an easy process for someone to change it that fast. So there is a sequence of steps that needs to be done in order to change your address. So let me show you what this complication is all about. Okay, so I can just click here and it would just show me probably I'll need to click on your account, after which probably once it loads up, Right. So the first step for me here was to open the accounts page. Okay. So this is your account. That was the first step. And the second step over here is I will need to look for the something called as an address book. And if I click on this, it takes me through a manage address book. And you see the third step here is they authenticate whether you are indeed the right person. Although I'm logged in correctly, they do a re-authentication again. Right? And once that is done, only then it is taking me into the page where I actually update it. Right? So this is the fourth step that actually, the fourth click that I actually did. And if you see here again, it's not going to allow me to just directly add an address just as simple as that. It's going to do some validations. So if I were to just simply click here as save and continue, see, it would give me an error saying that it needs to validate the things. Even in the onset that I enter the correct details, it would still, Amazon has some pretty smart technology wherein they know how to detect bogus address. So they will even detect that and will tell you that's not correct address. So in short, just to change an address, we thought that was a very simple step that I just need to open it and just probably one click or two click was max what I thought. But I ended up having to click about 4 or 5 times. I went through about 4 or 5 screens of steps to get the address changed. So if I were to just quantify or just summarize what I just did, I can probably put it like this. I can say that I have to load account details, right? That was the first thing that I clicked, right? Then here I'll say show account details, right? After which what I did was I clicked on open address book. Okay. Then I'll need to authenticate the person. Then I will be given an option to edit or add a new address. Okay. After which again the step was the next step was also about validation, where it actually validated if the data you entered is indeed right. Okay. So probably this method would be a bit right. So it will be somewhat like this. Right. So if you see here, there is a sequence of steps. There is a predefined sequence of steps for us to arrive at a solution, to achieve a particular business objective. So our business objective here was to enable the business or to enable the user to change the address, right? So very simple, change the address or address change, and this is the steps to achieve it. Okay. Now, why I'm talking to you about all this is because if the example that I gave you was the simplest of all actually, but if in a website like Amazon, wherein they have a lot of logistics involved in shipping, selection of the item, then dispatching it from their office, picking it up from the actual seller and all that. So in all those scenarios, you will definitely have a sequence of steps like placing the order, okay, placing it would be like placing order. And in a completely high level, you will say placing order. Then you will have something like payment, right? Then you can have something like dispatching, and you can have delivery. Okay, so this is just an overview about it, but the reason I gave you this simple example was that even this is not as simple as it looked like. It would be a lot more complicated. You'll have a lot of sub-processes within that and steps. So where does Pega come into in all this picture? So the ability of Pega here is that it is very good in translating this sequence of flows into a software system very easily. Without having to write a single piece of code, you can translate this requirement, this sequence of steps, into a software enterprise grade application, which you can deploy in and have about 100,000 users use it. You can do it very simply without having to write millions or hundreds of lines of code, right? That is the flexibility that Pega gives. And another good flexibility that Pega gives is that it can even allow you to change this. If, say for example, if I want to move this step from here to another, probably just want to shuffle the steps, or probably even I want to add a new step, even then Pega is about 7 times faster than Java in doing that change. Right? So that is the flexibility that Pega provides, that for business to translate this sequence of steps in a business flow into a software or an enterprise grade software is Pega's specialty, or its unique selling point. Okay, so in order to summarize this, ability of a software to translate this business process. This is actually, you can call it as a process flow, right? A business process flow. Okay, is ability of a software to translate this business process is actually called as a BPM system. Okay, BPM software. That is business process management. Okay. So this is the unique thing that you have to be aware of, that this is ideally what business process management tool is all about. Okay, so when you employ a software to make use of this ability to functionality to translate this business process, is called as a BPM software, right? So I hope you understood what is BPM. So primarily this is the unique, this is where Pega has been the market leader for about 20 years or so. And that's why business people love it, because they can get the changes done pretty fast. And if there is some compliance related thing that they want to have a particular flow in a particular manner, then Pega just definitely beats almost all the other keys to it, right? So let's see how easily, although I said that this is all very easy to do it, let me just first show you how we can do that in Pega. Okay, so what I'll do here is I will just take you through the login screen of Pega first. Right, so this is the login screen of Pega. Right, so as you can see here, this is the login screen, and here under this cases tab, I can actually add a case, which will, this is, a case is nothing but a work object, and at the end of the day a work object is nothing but which is the item that moves through that flow that we saw. So we had a sequence of steps here, like this, it moves from here to here and then to here and so forth. So the entity that moves across these different stages is called as a work object. Okay, so let us make it very simple. Let's try to translate that business requirement into something in Pega. I'm not telling what is that something. Later on you'll understand that that something is called as a case type. Okay, so it says here very clearly, this is almost all of what you can do in Pega is just drag and drop. There are points where you can make it a lot more technical and write in Java code, JavaScript code and all that, but that's all in an advanced course that you will learn. Primarily here our focus is on translating the business requirement into the enterprise grade application in Pega. Alright, so as you can see here, we show very clearly case types. What is a case type? It's as I told you earlier, it is the entity that moves from one area of the business process into the other area. So that is actually the worker object, not the case type. Case type is what defines this entire flow. So the sequence of steps that I have, I can put this entire thing into a case type called as add address, right? So I can call this add address as a case type, and inside this I will have the sequence of steps. So let me just show you here. Add address, I'll create it as add address. Primarily the objective here is to demonstrate to you how easily it is for me to translate this requirement that we just gathered here, this one, into Pega. Alright. So add address, I'll probably just skip the description for now. Click on next. Okay, I think that one already exists with this name. So what I'll do is add address school 1. Let's go on Amazon. Alright, so if you see here, this is a sequence of steps that we're talking about. So I mean, to a person who's seeing Pega for the first time, you can easily correlate with this type of image, right? You can see that there's a first step, after which it translates or moves slides through to the next one, and then finally it ends at this third step. So this sequence of step, it very clearly shows out here, and you can see here create is first one. So instead of create, I can put it here as account details, get account details. Right, and the next step that I can do is show account details, and then the next step I can see here is open address book. Okay, so there is a more optimal way of doing this, that we can club couple of them into just one under one set. Actually, we can just get all the things under this one tab and then couple of them under the next tab. So there is a way to optimally do that. But here I just want to demonstrate to you how easy it is to translate this business requirement into Pega. Okay, so I want to say authenticate, and here I'll just say edit address. I'll say add address. Okay, click on finish. So in the backend, what happens is it's whatever I did here in the fancy UI, it's going to translate into corresponding Java code, and it's going to create a .java and .class files for the compiler and the assembler to interpret and execute. So which is not, of course, not needed for you to understand this point of time. Alright, as you can see here, this is how it has translated the requirement that we just gathered. So as you can see here, it's a very neat way to look at the business flow, and at the onset I can even run the work object here, and I can even start adding the user interfaces very clearly. So the user interface can show me my first name, and in the first step that we just gathered here was about loading the account details. So as you can see here, this is the first step here, so you can even see how the flow moves through. So you can see here, this is the first step here, get account details. The same way we saw in Amazon website, if you carefully observe here on the top, you can see here your account, then manage your address book, add new address. So somewhat in that lines, we can even probably rename them to be exactly the same thing. But either way, the point here is that we can the business flow is almost built in just a matter of seconds. We can even now go ahead and start designing the user interface now. So if I want to add a user interface, it's as simple as this. So I can just probably create a new form. So in the new form, I can just add a field here, like something like PY label or something. Right. Which is like out of the box. So it's just a notes, this one. So we'll just add something to get the note. So right, click on submit here. The simple note that I will just insert into the user interface. So my intention here is just to show you how easy it's to do this, get this done in Pega. So as you can see here, I can actually add a couple of notes here. So I can say sample note, and one more, can say that note 2 and all that. Okay, So it's as simple as that. I was just able, in just a matter of seconds, I was able to add a field to capture the notes the user can enter in. So similarly, I can actually, there is flexibility in Pega to talk to an external system, integrate with an external system, or just build a static data from Pega's database. You can load the information and all that. So that's all just a little bit on the technical side, but primarily the intention here was to show you that I could actually translate the business requirement that we just captured in the Amazon website. We were easily able to put that into a running software system just in a matter of seconds. Okay, so as people who are aware of Pega, you need to know how to use this properly. Now this is where the tough thing comes in. So although all the translation is all good and easy, there are a lot of challenges. The challenges primarily being that it's not that flexible as from a technical standpoint, and there are limitations in using Pega. So, and more importantly, if you do not use a product in the right way, you end up slowing the system, you end up making the system non-scalable, and that kind of spells disaster for your entire project. If you cannot develop the system in a way that is not scalable, then you are going to make the system really slow and Pega is not going to scale up. There are a lot of challenges there. So when you learn this, you have to learn within, you have to know how to use a product within its set boundaries. Although there will be hacks around it at any point of time, you have to stick within the correct boundaries, the recommendations from Pega systems. Only then you need to develop within that time, within that framework actually. So let me just show you this application that we are planning to build. At the end of this course, you should be good in doing this application. You should have done this application. So the application is called as a support app. What this application will do is it will actually start. Basically, the business requirement here is that there is a company who produces a product, and there are defects, that there are live bugs that are coming into the product, and someone calls up a customer care or someone goes to a form, they submit a request saying that there is a problem and so defect is there, and after which the customer support people inside that company will just investigate it. Being a technical tool, I've just added some features like do level 1 investigation, level 2 investigation and all that. Once all the investigation is done, you send out an email to the person that investigation is completed, this is your fix, and or if it's a bug, you will say that then we will fix it in the next release and so forth. So basically it's a very small flow process there, and if you see here, this is a sequence of steps. So it's all well, you will be shared this document once we start the course, wherein it is it's an illustrative guide with images, and purposefully there is no video associated with it because I want you all to think through it and then do it, because if the video were there, it would be a lot easier for you to replicate it, which we do not want at this point of time, right? You should not be exactly copying as is. You should probably go through it, understand, put in a lot of effort to get it, and I think this guide does it does a fair justice on making it a little bit more easier as well. So as you can see here, each of this tab will have a business use case. As you can see here, business wants a new data type to capture customer info. So in the theory, I will teach you what is data type and all this. And this is how your class notes would look like. This is a class notes for a live course that I took for the students. This is completed course actually. So if you can see, I'll start off with what is a Pega architecture, what is the application server DB. Probably not in that depth, but later on I will talk to you about what is rule set, how business is going to look at it. Then we'll talk about what is a data type and what is a cases and all that, right? So this course, for those of you looking for a lot of tech information. This is not going to be completely tech. That is completely done in the CSSA course. This course will definitely prep you for CSA certification. So there are some standard questions for CSA certification, so I will share those questions with you. So this is whatever you see here. This is the entire collection set of all the standard questions that generally come in for the certification. So you should, not the exact same questions per se, but almost around the same lines. Okay. So yeah, so that's all that you will be learning from this course.